What if we truly have 1 trillion, 500 billion, whatever the number is of waste, fraud, and abuse in this country currently right now? What if we can eliminate some of it, all of it, whatever that number is? And today in this video, I wanted to dive into, because this is something that has really bothered me for many, many years. If you watch my videos, if you watch my content, you clearly know this has been bothering me. And today I want to break down and explain why the waste, fraud, and abuse is actually hurting, number one, the housing market. It's hurting affordability. It's hurting inflation. It's hurting interest rates. And ultimately, it's damaging this economy. And on top of all of that, our national debt, as we all know, keeps climbing and climbing every single day, week, month, and year at a pace that is not sustainable. And everybody just wants to sit here and say, let's tax this, let's do this, let's raise this, all of this stuff. But finally, it doesn't matter. This is really not a political thing. And the reason why it's not political is I do loans for a living, as you know. I help people finance residential properties, whether you're buying or refining. My clients, they could be Democrat, they could be Republican, they could be independent. Maybe your friends could be the same. One thing that we all can agree on, especially in a place like California, is that we get nickeled and dimed to death here. I can leave my office right now, go drive on a road and say, why is this road like driving down a dirt road? Why are things not happening? Why are things not done? Right? Especially in the state of California. Why? We definitely bring in the money. We definitely have passed bills to do things. But what we're finally realizing, whether it's California, whether it's Minnesota, whether it's Ohio, whether it's Florida, it doesn't matter. It could be New York. Every state is dealing with waste, fraud, and abuse. And we can sit here and blame the last administration or this administration or that administration. That's not the point. The point is, this has been going on for a long, long time. And I will say, unfortunately, when COVID hit, when the pandemic hit, this thing clearly, because guess what? We don't have to think about it. We don't have to guess about it. We don't have to get emotional about it, even though we might get irritated and frustrated about this. We have the data. Let me give you one fact. I'll give you two. National debt. Right before COVID, 2019, we were bringing in 5 trillion. We were actually spending about 5 trillion. Let's just call it, we had about a balanced budget. After the pandemic, we bring in 5 trillion, we're spending 7 trillion, if not more. Let's take California. I live here. I love it. I'm just as frustrated as anybody else who lives here. Before the pandemic, the budget to run this state was around 200 billion. Currently, the last time I heard was 350 billion. There is numbers, there is assumptions, there's guesses that California has somewhere around $85 billion a year in waste, fraud, and abuse. There's somewhere around 500 billion, 700 billion, $1 trillion. And nationally there's waste, fraud, and abuse. And maybe you might hear this term, you might hear this terminology, you might just go in the ear, one out the other, because honestly, you're like, they're never going to do anything about it. They're not going to crack down on it. They're not going to stop it. They're not going to prosecute anybody. Look, I don't disagree with you. I live in the same world that you do. It seems like we just keep moving on and on, print more money, shit happens, we slap people on the wrist, but nothing really changes. So today I wanted to break down, just taking national, maybe in a place like California, I'll pick on national, California can live here. And I wanted to break down where is the freight, waste, fraud, and abuse? I'm not going to get too technical, too micro. I'm just going to kind of keep it high level because we could sit here for days doing this. Obviously, Elon went into the government. And if you didn't know, he went in there, tried to do this thing called Doge. Whether you like him, don't like him, agree with him, don't agree with him, it doesn't matter. He soon realized that obviously the government doesn't matter if it's the left side, the right side, the middle, up, down, right, it doesn't matter. They don't want to stop spending. They don't want to deal with this. Now we are seeing some stuff happen. We are seeing JD Vance going state to state, obviously building teams there and starting to crack down on this low-hanging waste, fraud, and abuse. Before we get into it, if you don't know who I am, my name is Kenny Simpson. I actually focus on 1 to 4 unit financing for residential properties. That means if you're buying a house or a 2 to 4 unit, primary, second home, investment property, I can help you out. I've been doing this 20 plus years, getting older, and funded billions of dollars loans, helped over 5,000 clients. So if it's something I can help you out with, let me know. What kind of clients do we help out here? What do we do here? Just quickly, whether you're a first time home buyer, maybe you're in the military, going to use your VA, maybe you got to go conventional FHA. Hey, maybe you're a self-employed entrepreneur that is been denied by a bank that wants to buy a $2, $3, $4, $5 million home, and somehow you cannot make it happen. I'm your guy. Let's say you're a real estate investor, you bought one deal or you bought in 10 deals. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you're like, Kenny, I'm trying to quit my job or side hustle this or scale my real estate business. Is that something you do? Absolutely. We help first-time buyers. We help invest, all self-employed, and we help investors. We're really good at all of them. We have a team here. It's not just me. So if I can help you out, please reach out. Anyways, let's get back to the video while you're here. So we can logically think, what is waste, fraud, and abuse? Well, waste, fraud, and abuse really comes down to it's people taking advantage, let's just say, of our government. Maybe they are stealing money by claiming that they have a business that's not really there and they're billing. Maybe they have an actual legitimate business and they're making up fake customers and they're overbilling. Maybe they work for the government and they have some type of scheme going on, right? Maybe they got a bunch of money during the pandemic from the SBA program that was supposed to help out businesses that really needed it or families that really needed it, right? Waste, fraud, and abuse can be like, hey, I'm supposed to build a high-speed railroad here in a state that I live in, and we've already spent $30 billion, but we don't have a mile of track. Maybe we're going to create a homeless program where it's going to be $30 billion and we don't know where it went. Maybe we're going to have a housing program here in California that we're going to give $1 billion to. We've only confirmed that 100 million went to the project, but 900 million went to 300 to 500 nonprofits, NGOs, and we don't know where the money went. So it could be at the, I'm an entrepreneur level, I'm stealing from the government. It could be from, I'm overbilling the government because I'm a contractor and they never like look at these and I just keep overbilling. I could be taking advantage of the, the Medicare, Medi-Cal, you guys, Social Security, you guys name it. I could be stealing money from the government straight out of maybe their wallet from another country. Or you could just be a politician stealing money. Or I could just be a citizen that's stealing money. It doesn't matter. Whether it's waste, fraud, and abuse, all it comes down to, it's taking money. Why is this such a big deal? Let's think about this nationally, okay? I'm going to go grab my computer right now, and I'm going to type something in. We'll type it into ChatGPT, and we'll see what it says. I'll figure I'd just do this live. Let's see what happens. Okay. If we saved 500 billion a year in waste, fraud, and abuse, and that money came out of the economy, what would that do to GDP? Let's see what chat says. Is chat right? Who knows? Let's just have it quick. Let's see what it says. Okay, so cutting $500 billion a year basically hurts the economy by 1.6% GDP. Okay, what is our current GDP? So let's see currently what our GDP is now. Our total GDP, our country is right around $32 trillion. 7 trillion of spending, federal deficit 2 trillion, national debt 37 trillion. I think the GDP is, depending on what it is, but what was the last print in 2026 of GDP? So 2026 Q1, it was actually 1.6. Okay, let's just assume our GDP is 2.5%. You take away 1.6, you're going to hurt the GDP, right? So is the government not tackling this because they think you're going to take all this money out of the government, it's going to hurt? Or out of the consumer spending, it's going to hurt? I don't know. But on this video, I'm here to break down what exactly is going on because we're all living here. Let's take it nationally. You can take it by state. We all know now that if I have a company and I'm defrauding the government, right? I am basically billing, overbilling, making up stuff, whatever, and I am getting income to me. That means I am most likely giving that money to pay an office building, to pay employees, to buy cars, houses, trips, designer clothes, glasses, vacations, private jets, the list goes on. What I am doing is I'm actually taking the government's money that we don't have. So for example, in California, we have a $20 billion deficit. So if they're actually taking 85 billion, we actually have to go borrow that money to keep up with this waste, fraud, and abuse. So at the government, we bring in 5 trillion, we spend 7 trillion, we have to keep printing 2 trillion to stay alive. So let's just assume it's $1 trillion. I'm just picking a number. It might not be there, right? That means this is how furious you should be. That means that all the waste, fraud, and abuse, all that money is going to all these people. It is landing eventually in somebody's bank account, another person's bank account. Then that money goes and deployed to buy a new car, clothes, houses, vacations, private jets, hotels, restaurants, fancy stuff, experiences, employees, all this stuff. That money should have never gone to all these people that are stealing it. Think about what I just said. If $85 billion came right out of California and did not go into the hands of all these people that are stealing it, that means there would be that many less cars, that many less houses. That means If there's less cars, less spending, and less that would bring down the level of what we're competing with. That means less people are buying cars and all this stuff. Wouldn't that be so? Supply demand, right? What's inflation? So if we have a big demand and it's being fueled by bullshit money, that's inflationary. But if you take away the bullshit money, we already told you, you would hurt the U.S. economy at 1.6%. But that is deflationary, because that means you're taking away the money that's going into people's pockets that they should have never had. It's either going back into the government to pay down debt, or we just don't have that money there because we don't need it, because we don't need to give people money they don't deserve, right? We're talking people that are stealing it, especially here in California. So if you take that away, yeah, you're definitely going to see some pain in the economy. You're definitely going to see some inflation. You're definitely going to see maybe affordability go, wait a minute, we're not, all this money that's circulating here in California, the 85 billion or 500 billion nationally, that's going into the economy, that's buying goods, services, supplies, whatever, that, let's say technically if it wasn't going in there, wouldn't, that would be less money spent. That should bring down inflation, bring down the cost of things, right? Like, I'm just talking to you logically. Doesn't that seem logically? So that brings down the cost of things. That's deflationary. What is driving up interest rates right now? Inflation, inflation, inflation. I'm not sitting here saying this is a cure. What I'm trying to explain to people is that waste, fraud, and abuse is a low-hanging fruit. Finally, this administration is doing something about it. Will they capture enough? I don't know. I hope. But if we can put a massive dent in it, that means we don't have to print this money every year to use it. So we can actually stop printing another trillion. So now instead of 2 trillion, maybe it's 1 trillion. That's number one. A place like California, the money we've upped the budget from 200 billion to 350 billion. If it's in fact $85 billion, that means, and we're okay, we have enough money going in. Maybe we don't need to go pay $10 for a meter, or pay all this bullshit tax, or this tax and that tax and this nickel and dime. Because if you live here, you know, maybe if we actually did pay those taxes and we're okay with it, we would see our schools get better. We'd see educational systems get better. Firemen, police officers, teachers, our roads, it would get done. The railroad we're going to build would be done. The homeless problem could be fixed. So my point is, we are taking good money and giving it to bad people, but they are spending this money in an economy that is competing with us. Our job, our hard-earned money, when we go out and go to the restaurant, go buy clothes, go buy a cell phone, go buy glasses, go buy a trip, go fly in a plane, right? Go rent a car, go buy a car, whatever it is. If there's excess money in the system that should not be there, that should be going back to helping our economy, helping people that really need it, helping infrastructure, whatever it is, it wouldn't be going to some persons, or tons of people, probably millions of people that didn't earn it, didn't deserve it, that should not have this lifestyle. So my point is, if we don't take this away and this just keeps ramping up, not only are we going to continue getting nickel and dime at every state level, but national level. Not only is this not going to help us get rates lower, because this is inflationary and we need to get rid of it. Not only does it mean we have to print more money as a country every single year. So that means not only do we have to keep printing more money and knocking up our deficit, but every time we knock up our deficit, that interest payment that we have to make every year is killing us. Between interest, defense spending, entitlements, insurance, and all that stuff, it's out of control. So the easy, low-hanging fruit is go after the waste, fraud, and abuse, because it shouldn't be there. I understand you're not going to be able to catch all of it. There's no way. But with focusing on it, with AI and things like that in place, I can imagine this thing could drop 50, 60, 70% pretty quickly. You can start criminalizing people. You can put them in jail. You can put your foot down. But the point of this video was, if this is a low-hanging fruit situation. So this is what I tell people. If you're in real estate, you care about rates, you care about inflation, you care about this American dream, you care about not getting nickel and dime, I don't care if you vote on the left or the right or the middle or up or down. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is the person that you are voting for. If they are not talking about this, if they are not for this, and they are just like, leave this alone and it's out of sight, out of mind, to me, that is a major, major problem. We should be focused and unite as a country, as that people, that's saying enough is enough. We need to kill this excess money going out the window, because it's only coming back to bite us all in the ass. So we're going to pay more for everything else. And this is only going to make it worse and worse for our national debt, for our interest, for everything else, because we are competing with how many other people. And look, the fraud's all over, that people that should have never had this money. And that money should go back into all the stuff we mentioned, you know what it is. There's things that are not getting done. You live in a state, you're like, I thought we voted on this bill. I thought the money went in there. Why is it not getting done? Is it waste, fraud, and abuse? I don't know. And on top of that, there's international people that are stealing money at a rapid pace because it's so easy, because we're not paying attention. So I just wanted to vent on that a little bit. This is always top of my mind. I know we're getting more and more transparency about this, but I hope in the coming years, months, we're going to start seeing more and more people get busted, more and more people stop this, the government turning off spigots. And look, it's not a fun process. Politically, I know everybody's aligned on this because as a country, we need to get rid of this crap. It's out of control. But when it comes to real estate, for affordability, for rates, for all that stuff, this getting rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse on a state level, a county level, a national level, in the long run will only benefit us more for affordability and rates, and it could bring the price down of things. Because think about it, $1 trillion circulating or $85 billion circulating in an economy like California or nationally is a lot of money. And if it's going to be circulating and we're going to actually have that money, it should be put to good use, helping all of us, giving it back to us and helping the American people, infrastructure, affordability, schools, teachers, firefighters, military, whatever is needed, not to people that are basically stealing money. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it as always. I know it's a little bit off topic, but I wanted to address this problem because it does hurt. And as we move further and further and our deficit's so big right now, we're adding $2 trillion every year. It's coming problematic. You can't tax your way out of this. That's the thing is let's just tax our way. No. Before we start taxing and implementing all this crap at a state level, a county level, a city level, national level, why don't you combat this? And then let's see where we stand. Because do we really need parking meters at $10 or $20? Do we? Do we really need a nickel and dime us here in California for all this petty crap when you know we have the money? When you know that $85 billion potentially has been for waste, fraud, and abuse, you're telling me we have a massive surplus to do whatever we want. And really, when you get that money, just doing and being responsible with it. So share this video with somebody I can help out. Please reach out to me. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.